Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of the Multiverse. Mike, your one-stop shop for everything in the world of nerddom. We're talking movies, comic books, games, and everything to scratch that nerdy itch. I am, of course, one of your hosts, Brian, and I'm here with my good friends, as always, Taylor.
Hey.
And Jacob.
Hey.
And I guess I shouldn't say as always. The last couple episodes, it's been a skeleton crew here, but we're back to full strength this week. And we're here to talk about one of the most anticipated movies coming up here in the next year, Spider-Man Brand New Day. So this is a movie where there's not necessarily a lot that's been released about this other than a little bit of casting. And we don't know too much about the movie itself. So we're kind of going to talk a little bit about rumors and speculation and kind of what we're expecting out of that movie. So why don't we shoot this over to Taylor? Why don't you start us off with some of your thoughts on this upcoming movie?
Yeah, so Brand New Day, I know it covers a comic run there where titled the same title, but I'm also aware that some of the I guess leaks and talks about what's coming in this movie is not going to be covering much of what that comic actually did. It's going to be completely different, which I like that they're kind of pulling names to kind of bring in that, but also doing their own thing, which they have done with the Spider-Man the entire way through. And, you know, I feel like that of the recent Marvel movies that have come out in lines, the Spider-Man line has been very, very successful and been very good, you know, and for both critics and viewers, you know, and fans of Spider-Man, of MCU in general, have just been very, very excited about everything Spider-Man. And, you know, I am, you know, just seeing, you know, set photos, and I mean, I'm sure you guys have both seen that one set photo that people are pretty much turning into a teaser poster itself. And it's his back, and then just the whole crew just standing there looking at him as he's just...
Did you see that footage though? Like where people and bystanders just like filming like that's whatever scene they're doing. I don't know.
No.
Where he's on top of a truck. Like
no, I didn't see that.
It's so good. Like it's just it's not much. It's just him on top of a truck, like wired up, and he's swinging through their set of a street, not seat. Their set of a street, and they're using practical effects. Like he's like zipping like on these wires and stuff. Looks awesome.
Well, and that, I mean that's you know I'm super like stoked and just excited about this movie, learning every little bit about it. Let's throw it over to Jacob, and what are you excited about this movie?
I'm excited about the concept behind it because Brand New Day was a great comic following a bad comic, which was One New Day, One More Day. That's what it was. One More Day, where Mephisto takes away his marriage because he wanted to save Mary Jane's life. Which the real reason they did that, you know, shout out to Comics Explained on YouTube. This isn't much of a plug, but the whole explaining of all of it, you know, because especially with, you know, Aunt May dying, he wants Aunt May not to die, so they take away his marriage, which said the whole point of that was just so that Peter Parker, I'm looking over here at the stuff on the corner and I see Peter Parker doesn't like age anymore in the sense, you know, because he's married. So, you know, where do we go with that? Like, is he going to have kids? And is Peter Parker just going to go away? Peter Parker is such an important character, and they wanted to split up Mary Jane and Peter. So they did that, and it was a very controversial comic. It wasn't good, in my opinion, like not necessarily the whole storyline, but just that part. But they reboot his life, which is kind of what they just did, you know, with the that third iteration of Spider-Man with Tom Holland, which I'm excited to see what happens because Sadie Sink is playing an unknown character. And we should talk about what we think she's going to play because I think it's Mary Jane, but it seems too easy because they just had an MJ. So I don't know. I don't know. There's been some crazy people saying things all over the place saying she's Gwen Stacy. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do Gwen Stacy again, but that'd be cool. But I am excited. I'm excited to see where this goes. It looks like on the IMDb website, the guy who plays the Punisher looks like he's in it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's playing the Punisher, but
I hope so.
Yeah, he's an innocent bystander.
He's just some random guy.
Oh look, there goes Spider-Man! Wasn't that cool? Watched Punisher. Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to see who they pull into this movie. I think. Oh yeah, no, it was the guy who plays Matt Gargan. Scorpion is supposed to be in it. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know if it's like flashbacks. I hope he's not like a main villain, but We'll see.
This is going to be an interesting movie because this is something the MCU does really well, is they take an idea from the comics and they just take that spark of an idea and make something completely new out of it. The one that I think is the easiest to pick out is Civil War. You guys have all read the Civil War comics, and the movie is nothing like the comic books, aside from the fact that you have two groups of superheroes that are fighting each other, right? They take the basis of an idea and they create something completely new that fits in with the story that they're telling. And I'm sure that's what they're doing here with Brand New Day, right? Because, that's Peter Parker's life is being reset. And I think that's the spark of the story itself. But, the way that we find Peter in the MCU after the last couple of movies is a complete reset on the character. Nobody knows Peter Parker anymore. I mean, everybody still knows who Spider-Man is, but Peter Parker is a complete unknown. How does he move forward with this? Mary Jane, or MJ at least, doesn't know who he is. So there's no connection there. So one of the things I'm actually really intrigued about is how do they bring his friends into this new movie? Because I'm assuming that Zendaya and Jacob Batalon are going to be in there as... I
think so. I think that was actually the
two friends.
In the official.
But... how do they go forward with that? These two people have no idea that Peter Parker even exists, right? They're strangers. So does he get pulled back into their world, or is this about him moving on and now those people are no longer part of his life? And maybe this is where the Sadie Sink character comes in, because he's going to have to form new relationships with people. And, kind of tying back into what you're saying with Thomas Jane, or not Thomas Jane. That's an old Punisher.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I still call him Shane from The Walking Dead.
John Bernthal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, he has been confirmed as Punisher in this movie.
That's so cool.
Which is going to be really interesting because there's still, I don't know if maybe one of you could look this up, see if it's confirmed, about the Hulk being in it.
Yep, he's also
I've
on
been
the
seeing
cast
a lot
list.
of stuff like that.
Is that confirmed?
He's on the cast list on IMDb, so...
right. And now you can't always take that...
as far as I know.
Can they throw fakes in that? Like, not fakes, but like can IMDb, can they confirm and then go, just kidding? Like, is that like an official thing? Like,
sometimes stuff gets posted that's not confirmed.
Oh, okay, Here we go. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is confirmed. Spider-Man Brand New Day, according to Hollywood Reporter and other outlets.
Okay. So if it's coming from the Hollywood Reporter, you can bank on that one.
They're pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's these casting rumors that get thrown out there. A lot of people use the word confirmed when they heard something on Reddit.
Oh yeah, or AI. I haven't seen a lot of AI photos.
Oh geez, yeah.
Coming from some of those major trades like the Hollywood Reporter, you can take those as pretty solid. So on one hand, you've got Scorpion, who is a pretty typical Spider-Man villain. You've got the Punisher, who is extraordinary in his skill but doesn't have superpowers, so it kind of fits right in with Spider-Man. And then you have the Hulk. It seems like something does not mesh very well in there, and I'm really curious what they're going to do with the Hulk character going forward. I mean, is this truly just going to be Peter is friends with Bruce because he's a scientist, or do we actually see something with the Hulk?
Well, there is a comic line where the Hulk, not Bruce Banner, the Hulk remembers Peter.
Yeah,
because he is a separate. He was
separate mind.
He's a separate mind, and because the Hulk mind has been trapped, I think this whole time behind Bruce Banner's persona, he's gonna. This is my where I'm hoping they take this right. He's gonna be kind of the one thing to kind of. It's gonna be a shocker, right, to Peter, obviously, as he's swinging through, and be like, hey Peter, it's be like, whoa, you know who I am.
So do you think he's going to take on that mentor role you're saying? Like, and is he still Smart Hulk? I get confused on where we are at that third movie. Like what? So Iron Man died, but what else has happened? Like in that timeline.
So it's been Professor Hulk this entire time.
Right.
But I don't think that Spider-Man and Hulk ever crossed paths, because Hulk, think about this, at the end of Age of Ultron, he was sent off in the Quinjet up to Battleworld,
right,
to Sakaar. And after, let's see let me think of the timeline. After Age of Ultron is when you had Civil War. After Civil War was Ragnarok, and they're still in space at that point. Mm-hmm. Hulk doesn't come back to Earth until Infinity War. So,
and Spider-Man's been wiped at that point.
Well,
yeah.
Because
the only time they could have possibly crossed paths is that first introduction of the Black Order in New York. But Spider-Man was in his suit, and that was when the Hulk was refusing to come out. So I don't know that they ever had an interaction with each other to the point of where Hulk would know who Peter Parker was.
Right. He gets dusted. And then again, the only other time they'd interact, if they did, would be that major fight, the big last battle, which they both were in, but doesn't mean they were talking in it.
But that would be Professor Hulk at that point.
Right.
Yeah, which is still the mind of Bruce Banner. Yeah.
So I really like the idea behind that, but just as far as the MCU is concerned, I'm not sure that quite fits.
Well, in either way, I don't care if he knows he's Peter. Like, he could probably still mentor him. Like, whether he runs into him on the streets and maybe Peter needs some help. It's like, hey, you don't know me, but I know you. Like, we fought and knew, like, maybe because they forgot Peter, but they knew Spider-Man fought. Maybe everybody's mind wipes his face, but at the same time, they knew Spider-Man was there fighting with, everybody. So he may still be like, hey, Spider-Man, same concept, and then maybe mentor him in that way too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And it's going to be, I'm kind of excited because John Bernthal's all Punisher, obviously every Punisher is all about like just kill the bad guy. Mm-hmm. And Spider-Man is not about that. So I have a feeling there's going to be one of those, like, not friend fights, but where it's like him tying up guns, like, stop pulling out more pistols. And he's just pulling out a knife, pulls out another. He's like, where are you getting all these weapons? Like, I don't know. I think that'd be a fun interaction.
Be good,
like,
Spider-Man.
Trying to teach him a better way, but Punisher's going to be like, nah.
Be a good friendly neighborhood Spider-Man moment,
and, right?
Which I feel like we're going to get a lot of these.
Yeah,
with the Spider-Man without his toys, from Stark is going to be fun to see. A pure,
I'm so excited,
pure Spider-Man once again, and seeing, the kind of what we got from Amazing Spider-Man, the feel of like just a pure, very smart Spider-Man, and.
Well, yeah, at the end of that last one, it shows him because his not mind wiped, but everybody forgets who Spider-Man is. That means he didn't go to high school because he doesn't exist. So he was about to take the SATs, like just challenge them, which is crazy.
Yeah, and this going to be pretty unique too, because in the MCU, none of that stuff has really been established. We're going to be going. Right. I mean, they've got a lot they could play around with here. It's going to be interesting how they set this up. It's pretty established that for most of the comic history, that's what Spider-Man was, but we've only ever seen Stark Spider-Man.
Right.
Exactly.
And so being able to see
fighting aliens and
exactly. This more grounded level Spider-Man is going to be a completely new take for the MCU, which I'm really looking forward to.
Oh yeah, no. And same thing. Go ahead, Taylor. I saw you. Sorry.
Oh, no. I if we're staying on the subject, go ahead and I got something after you talk.
Yeah. So with like the Brand New Day comic too, like some themes in there, I was trying to recall. So I even brought it up. I was trying to like this summary of because I went through on YouTube, Comics Explain. Rob kind of goes through like all of the latest Spider-Man like to date, and it's such a good storyline, especially getting into like where like Supreme Spider-Man,
Doc Ock
Spider-Man, which is a great storyline too, which comes after this. So I doubt they would go into that, but that'd be so cool. But since they're trying to reboot his life, there's new love interests. So I'm sure, I'm not saying that's what Sadie Sink is, but could be. And they try to explore that too with this brand new girlfriend, and they eventually break up and stuff. But and then getting into the company that he helps to start, and at least get the ground running, and then joining the what is it called? There's a company he gets involved with where he's volunteering at first. They see him as like, very smart. Kind of reminds me of Big Hero 6, where it's a school type thing where they're like, it's a playground for scientists where they're like, go to town, make whatever you're making. And he really gets to play around some technology, but it's his own making. So I'm hoping they kind of get into that, whether that's just a program for like nerdy he's an adult, nerdy adults, where they can just kind of mess around and kind of makes a little more sense versus just, like, the only thing he's got is his web. But because I don't mind gadgets and stuff like that, but the Stark tech was getting annoying in my opinion, just because it was just nanotech all the time. But
Right.
yeah, I'm excited for that.
So I wanted to ask you guys, where do you think Ned Leeds is going to head into? Do you think we're heading towards, because he's this is Ned without Peter Parker, right, as his best friend to keep him in check, right, to keep him as they were, it was always Peter and Ned, right, and now this is Ned without Peter. Are we? Yeah. Do you guys know who Ned Leeds is in the comics?
Yes,
Hobgoblin. So, are we going to see a Ned start to transition into that character?
Now, you see,
that'd be awesome.
I actually forgot that was a thing, and that would make a lot of sense because of everything that we just talked about. I wasn't sure how they would keep the friends kind of going forward into the new series, but if that's the path they're taking, this is the perfect opportunity to set that up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what I thought too. And that's why I kind of phrased the question like that. A Ned without Peter. Are we going to see him, not become Peter's best friend, but to be his enemy? And is this going to be from like leftover? Because he doesn't know who Peter is, but he obviously saw the fight, right? And what does he remember of the fight? Where. Does he have those memories? Are they going to start coming from flashbacks? Is he going to be haunted by the goblin? Is this how he becomes that?
I didn't think about that. Stuff. Haunted by what he saw.
Yeah.
Like being chased by that goblin and stuff.
And if you just type in, Ned Hobgoblin on Google, you see some pretty cool images people have come up with of I forget that actor's name.
Jacob Batalon.
Yes. Jacob as Hobgoblin. And it's it's creepy.
Yeah, there's some cool concepts.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and Hobgoblin has been a few people, especially when there was a comic line of Spider-Man where they thought it was Ned, but it wasn't. It was just someone who took the identity of Ned and started this whole crime underground thing, like the Goblin Army and stuff like that, which was cool. But yeah, even if it wasn't Ned Leeds, but they bring the Hobgoblin in because if they're thinking, well, we've done the Green Goblin, like we haven't seen the Hobgoblin yet, a few different gadgets there, but I mean. Either way, I think it's cool that the concept idea is out there. And I don't know. I mean, they could even go, whatever happens, if people were like, we didn't really like that. And they're like, just joking. Ned Leeds is going to be the Hobgoblin in the next one, something to just kind of curveball everybody. But as for the friends being it could be something so deep or which has done me wrong in movies before where I'm like, oh, did you see the cast? And it turns out they were just in the cast because they were in the movie for like 10 seconds as a and they're like at a cafe and they're like, you need to do better. All right. Have a nice day. And that was it. So I'm worried that might be the case with the friends because maybe just not to let them disappear from the last movie, but almost just like he's checking in on them. Maybe he sees them and they're in the cast because of that. Or it's so much deeper. I can see him just like being in his shoes. I can't imagine where it's like your friends that you've been friends with for so long don't remember you at all. So I can see him kind of breaking and being like, oh, okay, that's it. And then kind of approach them going, listen, you don't remember me. And like maybe even annoying Ned at first, like leave me alone, freak. Like, I don't know you. Like it'd be crazy if someone off the street was like, Taylor, hey, we've been friends for so long. You don't remember me. And it's like, but like keep checking in on you, spying, being like, okay, this is getting kind of crazy,
Right.
Like not driving him to become
like, I see you.
Yeah, exactly. But almost like you just leave me alone and like, just see something like almost like now he's starting to not like this guy named Peter Parker. He's like, don't let me see you around me because you're freaking me out.
Right.
Yeah, I could see him laying the groundwork for something like that, just kind of planting the seeds. Based off of the other characters they've confirmed for this movie, I don't see that being a main storyline, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of something that they just play with and that actually plays a much bigger part in the next Spider-Man that comes after this. Because don't forget, this movie, I mean, and some of the movies have been switched around recently, but this movie was supposed to come out between the next two Avengers movies. So there's likely going to be a large portion of this movie that plays into what's going on with Doomsday and Secret Wars. Because let's not forget how big of a role Tony Stark played in the life of Peter Parker. And now Tony Stark's face is the villain over the next couple Avengers movies. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to see Doctor Doom in this movie, but throughout those Avengers movies, Peter's going to play a huge role in that.
Yeah.
And there's something in this movie that's going to lay the groundwork for that. There's been conflicting reports on whether or not this movie takes place after Doomsday or concurrently with Doomsday, kind of how that falls into place. But the order that these movies are being released in is not an accident. These movies are going to have something to do with one another. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not 100% sure, because both of the Avengers movies were delayed. So they pushed them back about 6 or so months each. This movie was supposed to come out between them. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie actually gets pushed back, if it does fit in line the way that a lot of people think it does.
Right. No, I can see that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess moving forward on this, I like that a lot. Moving forward, looking down this cast list, I just want to move down this cast list. That's kind of where we're heading. Looks like. I see Trammell Tillman, and I don't know much about the actor himself, but looking at that actor, if you guys have the list up here?
No, I can pull it up though.
Go ahead and pull it up and just take a look there, and then what comes to mind when you click on that name. If you're listening right now, look up Trammell Tillman right now, and just on that picture, tell me what comes to mind.
Down in the comments if you're on YouTube.
Yeah, what character do you think fits this guy? Because he's pretty high on that list that they have there.
Tombstone. I don't know. I was thinking from the newest cartoon.
Mm-hmm. Are you thinking something along the lines of not Miles, but his uncle?
Oh,
Prowler.
Prowler. So I'm going to stop you right there, because Kevin Feige has already stated
they want him, but they said no.
Yeah, they're not going to have anything to do with that side of the Spider-Man mythos in the MCU.
Okay.
So, I mean, I see it when you said it too, but I don't see that realistically happening.
Okay.
But still, that would have been cool. Or to tease his dad, who's a police officer.
Right.
Imagine
exactly.
with a mustache.
And it could be anything, but seeing that name as high as he is on that list, he's above Zendaya on the list there of the cast, and usually that's how they try to put him in order.
Well, what page are you
importance.
looking at?
I'm looking at the first, just the full cast and crew.
Well, I mean, what page are you looking at though?
IMDb.
Okay, because if you just Google it, he's a lot further down in the list.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't necessarily trust the order that those lists are made, because if on Google, Sadie Sink is listed first above Tom Holland. Oh. And we know that she's not going to be a bigger part of the movie than Tom Holland is.
Right.
They're going to do a flash forward, and she's Mayday Parker in the shoes of her father, trying to take over. And then they're in that comic. Mary Jane has technology, not powers, but technology, where she's also a spider person. And they have to teach her how to be a.
I've heard that
could
one.
Be cool. That would.
I wasn't going to bring that one up, but yeah, I heard that one. But
that'd be sick.
It'd be cool, but also I hope that if they're going to have Sadie Sink in there, she should play a bigger role.
She should
just
be
a flash forward.
Because the last one was Michelle. I forgot about that. She was Michelle MJ.
Yeah.
But then it's just going to be really another MJ, which could be a funny joke. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with this. But I mean, I really wish they could have Miles. I mean, in some ways, I guess it wouldn't make sense because Peter himself, I know he's an adult. Mm-hmm. He still looks like a teenager in just the way Tom Holland looks and he's supposed to be kind of more of a protege. And at least in the more modern iterations, when they're both in the same comic or the same, some cartoon or anything, it's more of a teaching moment. And he'd be probably really 15 if anything. But yeah, no. At least in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, because that was a fun video game, and I'm here for it. If they want to do some kind of spin-off or side project, but
yeah. Well, Brian, how good do you think this movie's going to do?
I mean, if you judge it on the performance of past Spider-Man movies, it's going to make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the MCU has been in a little bit of a slump recently. The last 2 MCU movies that have come out have been really good and have not made much money. Mm-hmm. So I think if they can continue to build momentum and Avengers Doomsday is a hit like everybody seems to think it'll be, that's going to make this movie cross the $1 billion mark pretty easily. Because Spider-Man just tends to make a lot of money. He's the most recognizable superhero.
Yes.
Bigger than Batman, bigger than Superman, right? Spider-Man is the number one most popular superhero in the world. So as long as this movie just isn't a dumpster fire, it's going to make a lot of money just based off that. But
yeah,
you've got the added momentum of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this is going to make as much as the last one. The last one was very nearly a $2 billion movie. There's only been like 4 or 5 of those ever. And Spider-Man very nearly was. What was the last one? Far From Home?
Yeah.
No Way Home. No Way Home. Yeah, No Way Home was just a couple million short of crossing that $2 billion mark. So I don't think this one's going to make that much money, but I do think that it's almost a given that Spider-Man's going to make $1 billion.
Yeah, Jacob, how do you think it's going to do?
Yeah, no, I think it's also going to do really well, like at least in the theater and in how it makes money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping personally that it's just a great time where you get those moments again where people are, like you said, recognizable. So I'm hoping we get those theater moments again, kind of like in number 3. It won't be exactly like that because I doubt Andrew Garfield and I mean, it'd be cool if they were somehow in it again, but Tobey Maguire, but probably not. But still, I hope those kind of moments happen too.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing a really cool Scorpion or even Rhino on set would be cool. I'm looking for the signature Sinister Six.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think this movie's going to do wonderful. I did hear like a theory, like it's just a theory. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But if it does, I like to talk about it. But that like maybe some of those, like almost like time jump where like a montage, like maybe that scene they're filming is just like a moment that they're filming of a time that Spider-Man saved this truck that was probably full of money because it looks like he's trying to pull off the top of it. Like someone's in the truck. Could have been, Rhino or like some villain, and then like a year later, and then this is happening, and then like maybe making a name for a street cred versus like such a new reboot. The whole movie's about him walking down the street going, "Hey, remember me?" It's just kind of a lot of montage at the beginning, which would be cool. I like that idea. But no, as for the movie itself, though, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's going to do really well as well. It's especially if it sits between the 2 Avengers movies, like you said, I think that's going to, kind of boost it a little bit. And if it can find that spot and, hopefully at a point where Marvel's kind of seeing, catching their footing again, we'll see, probably not I'm looking at it right here, $1.92 billion worldwide. We're, looking at, getting not close to that, but probably 1.3 or 4.
Points.
Well, 3 or 4. It's probably not going to reach the 1.9, but it's going to 3 or 4. It would be amazing. If it
I want them to make enough where they go, we're definitely making more, because I think it's another trilogy, isn't it? That's what this is.
Maybe
don't know.
I don't think there's been confirmation one way or another.
Yeah, because this is the first 4th Spider-Man movie we've gotten, and
same guy.
So exactly, we're on something here, and but how long is Tom Holland going to be?
That's true.
Able before not before he gets old. He's a very young looking guy, but before the character itself gets old, and I hope that this isn't the beginning of the end of Spider-Man, but just the him pushing through and helping lead the MCU through this new phase. While yes, Fantastic Four is I think you're right. When our previous video, Fantastic Four should be there to lead the way. I think Spider-Man is there to kind of hold their hand and guide them into this big world,
into like their world. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So
yeah. So Spider-Man is actually one of only let's see here, 2 characters that have made it to a 4th film in the MCU.
That's a huge thing, yeah.
You know who the first one was?
Captain America?
Thor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, well, technically, you could say Captain America was the second.
Different guy. Yeah.
But it was Sam, and it wasn't Steve Rogers.
Right.
So, I don't know. Make of that what you will.
Yeah. Well, all right. I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. If we're here on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. Feel free to drop us a like. It really helps out. Drop a comment in there. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Anything you want to hear more about, or something we haven't talked about. And let us know. All right, and have a great night.
See ya.
Peace.